Episode 274, Ireland's AI Agenda, Governance First.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Last month, the Oireachtas Cross-Party Committee on Artificial Intelligence published its first interim report, setting out 85 recommendations that read like somewhat of a wake-up call on how Ireland needs to prepare for AI. Hello and welcome back to AI6, the podcast that is on a mission to bring AI to you in your workplace, take away the overwhelm and encourage you to adopt it with impact. So, Ireland's Joint Committee on Artificial Intelligence was established to review and recommend how the country should develop, deploy and regulate AI, including the ethical issues, so the country can drive growth and innovation, build public trust and deliver real public benefit while protecting rights and reducing risks. Speaking to LMFM Radio, Chair of the committee, Deputy Malcolm Byrne, says the committee will continue to publish interim reports along with a final report at the conclusion of its work. This report pulls together evidence from 7 public hearings and, as I mentioned, has 85 recommendations that, if implemented, would reshape how AI is governed across Irish society. In those hearings, they heard from Research Ireland, the AI Advisory Council, the Minister of State responsible for AI, Niamh Smith, and representatives from groups including young people, older people, and people with disabilities. It occurs to me that this report is governance heavy more than it is about driving innovation. It's a signal of how Ireland will adopt AI, governance first, highly compliant, and inclusive innovation that's highly regulated. If you want to learn more about Ireland's economic ambitions, then you need to refer to the National AI Strategy for Good, and also referring to our Minister's commentary in the Dáil. And here's a quote I picked out from February of last year. Minister Niamh Smith said, "We want at least 75% of enterprises in Ireland to be using the cloud, AI and data analytics by 2030. According to the statistics published by the CSO, AI adaptation in Ireland rose from 8% of enterprises in 2023 to 15% in 2024. While these figures are promising and growing, it's not enough. We need to encourage more businesses to adopt AI by ensuring the necessary enablers are in place." So it's really important to think about this statement from the Minister. We need to ensure that the necessary enablers are in place to drive innovation. But this happens in an environment of regulation and of governance. So here are the key takeaways from that interim report of the Joint Oireachtas Committee on AI. And I've broken it down into different categories. The first one being regulation and governance. A national AI office should be operational by August 2026. The EU AI Act should be treated as the minimum baseline, not the maximum standard when it comes to AI in Ireland. 9 fundamental rights authorities need dedicated ring-fenced funding. Regulatory sandboxes should be established by August 2026. And there's been a call for a permanent joint committee on AI and a citizens' assembly on the topic. On AI literacy and education, it has called for a coordinated national effort from primary school to workplace, AI literacy programmes for policymakers and public servants, public awareness campaigns on rights, consents, bias, scams, and how to opt out. Soft skills like critical thinking, communication and emotional intelligence should not be sacrificed. And Finland was cited as a model for nationwide AI education. In terms of accountability requirements, mandatory algorithmic impact assessments for high-risk public sector AI, a public register of all government AI systems, developers, vendors, costs, assessments, an annual public report from all bodies using AI in public services, a public sector human rights and equality duty as a core framework, and a risk assessment and bias testing required before deploying AI systems. In terms of protecting people, citizens, human support options must remain legally available. Recommender systems off by default and banned for children's accounts. Co-design with young people, older people and disabled people built in. Plain English communication required from operators. Users must easily control features and data access. They also identified gaps in their interim report. The EU Copyright Directive needs strengthening for AI training data. Energy consumption concerns, especially dedicated modules coming, and harmful content and recommender systems inadequately addressed in the EU AI Act. I have linked the full report in the show notes and also in the blog post associated with this podcast at digitaltraining.ie and at publicsectormarketingpros.com. And I hope to have a member of that committee on AI6 to take part in the long listen interview. That's it for today's show. I'll be back with more tomorrow.